One of the things we realized when we were setting up this event is that during the sign-up process, a lot of people expressed that they've heard of OpenClaw, they're curious about it, curious about AI agents, but they've actually never installed it, never utilized it, don't exactly know what the use case is. So we just thought that we'd start off this event with a quick primer, just like a 101 to figure out, this is how it all came to be, this is what OpenClaw is. We're gonna demystify some terminology so that everyone's on the right page, the same page before we get into our demos to really showcase all the sick use cases of this platform. So if that's cool, I'll just get started kind of on the origins of all of this. Basically, AI has been around for a while. But in 2017, Google basically announced this new algorithm that basically made all these AI models a lot more powerful, a lot more efficient. And one of the first commercial use cases that you're all going to be familiar with were these chatbots. You know, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. You're all familiar with these bots. You've seen the buzzwords. But basically, these bots, you can interact with them by using natural language, saying, hey, hello, Claude, how are you doing? I got this problem, this relationship problem with my girlfriend, if you have any advice. I know y'all been there. And so that was the first real commercial use case of these AI models. What people quickly realized was that it's not only good for chatting about questions and knowledge, but it's also really good for coding tasks. And so some people thought, hey, how about we put this chatbot in a code editor and see how that does? So then new products started spawning up, like GitHub Copilot or Cursor, where you can literally ask, hey, I have a bug here, here's the error, I don't know how to fix it, could you fix it for me? And that surprisingly did really well. And that was one of the first really high demand use cases of these large language models. And as a result of that, these companies started going parabolic because software engineers were becoming so much more productive than before. And then as these models were getting better, as the context window was increasing, meaning basically you can give it more information and it'll give you more accurate results, people thought, why don't we not just give it 1 or 2 code files, but give it my entire code base and see how that does? And turns out it does pretty freaking awesome. So people just started giving it their entire code base to the point they were like, you know what, I'm not even curious what you write, I'm not gonna review your code, I'm not interested. I just wanna wait for me to communicate with you easily. So these new platforms started sprouting up, Claude Code, Codex. These are CLI tools, command line interfaces, doesn't really matter. It's a text box inside your terminal window, that's all you gotta know, where you can interact with these AI tools. And they have knowledge about your entire code base. So not only are you asking it, hey, can you fix this button, but you can ask it, can you build this full stack application iOS app for this business idea I have? And it would do it for you. Or you can say, hey, there's a legacy code base that I need to refactor to a modern tech stack. Could you do that for me? And it would do it for you in a couple of prompts that it iterates itself. That's the whole word agentic here, where it knows how to prompt itself and work for minutes to an hours on end to get the task done. So where does that leave us? Basically at the end of last year, when all of this was popping off, an Austrian developer, his name is Peter Steinberger, he said, okay, this Claude stuff is really cool, but I have an hour to kill tonight. I really want to interact with Claude Code in a way that's a little bit more friendly. Like, I want to be able to text it like I'm texting a friend. So what he did within an hour was he hooked up his Claude Code bot and made it a WhatsApp bot. And he started being able to talk to it. You know, he'd be at the gym, he'd be on his way to work, and he'd say, hey, hey Claude bot, I know you have access to my to-do list. What do you think are the top priority items I have to do for the day? On his phone. And then Claude would tell him, hey, these are your priority items. And you start to realize if you run these agentic models 24/7 on your laptop, a MacBook or Windows laptop at home, and you can hook it up to your WhatsApp, you can actually do some pretty cool things. And not only that, you can ask it like, hey, you have access to my desktop, could you clean it up for me? It will do it in 5 seconds. Or hey, these are all my bank statements from the past 5 years. Could you look at the spending trends so I can help myself do some personal budgeting? And it will do that for you. So all these tasks are not just coding related, but also general knowledge tasks. It could do it on the fly as you're on the go. But one of the most important things that Peter did was he made this open source. And what that meant was that everyone could hop in and contribute to this software. So what happened? People started going crazy. People started integrating other messaging apps, Telegram, iMessage, Discord, Slack, you name it, to interact with these basically AI agents you run on your laptop. And then people were like, it's cool to run with local files, but let's integrate everything into it. So people started integrating all the apps your Google Drive, your Google Calendar, If you use linear for productivity, if you're a software engineer or PM, you can hook it up to your GitHub and allow it to read linear tickets, fix the bugs, and put up PRs on GitHub and tell you. You can hook it up to your Notion, your Obsidian, your Apple Notes, tell it to read and write to it, help me organize my day. And you can also give it your Oura Ring health data, your age sleep data, and be like, hey, I want to get better sleeping habits. Could you help me based on my history? Tell me what I should do about it. And yeah, you can hook it up to your Home Assistant, let it control your lights, and you can do that on any platform, Mac OS, Windows, Linux, you name it. And it can also access, obviously the browser, and log in as if it was you and do all these different tasks. And so this ecosystem kind of exploded. It became one of the highest growing GitHub repositories in history of code. And they named it, they went through a bunch of iterations of names, but all you gotta know, it's now called OpenClaw. And so it's really just a software that is your personal AI assistant. Anyway, that's the high level overview. And before we get into the demos and all that, I want to give you some of my personal use cases of how I use OpenClaw on a day-to-day and how it's sort of changed my life. I'll start from sort of the tip of the iceberg. I won't get too into detail, but we'll have some lovely community demo people out here who are going to come out and showcase what they do with OpenClaw so that you all can be inspired and go home and play around with it. Just a heads up, we won't focus too much on the technical setup today because that's kind of boring, but we'll make you inspired to want to use it so that you can go home and we'll figure out how to let you know how to set it up. But yeah, here's some use cases that I would want to show you. This is Baymax, which is my personal OpenClaw system. You can brand it and give it a personality all you want. One of the things that I like to do is communicate with Baymax, my personal assistant, using voice. We'll see how the Wi-Fi here is, but I'm going to do a live demo. So, for instance, one of the things I do really often is let's say I'm talking with a friend. We don't have our devices, we're really present, and we say, hey, Robin, let's go grab drinks at 9 p.m. today, And I want to put that on my Google Calendar. In the past, I'd have to take out, my phone, open Google Calendar, type Robin 9 p.m., put it on my Google Calendar, and do all that fidgeting. Now, we'll see if it works. What I do is basically talk over Telegram. Hey, Baymax, could you add 9 p.m. drinks with Robin today for 1 hour? And then I send it a voice memo. If the Wi-Fi works here, it should be able to process that, and we'll see if it works.
I'm busy.
You're busy? Okay, wait. It's not responding right now. That's how live demos go. But, let's see if I have internet access. Oh, GoDaddy. I was buying some domains over the winter. Some .ai domains. Spent a lot of money on that.
Reset your gateway.
You're right. The problem is this thing is running with my local Mac at home. Okay, well I was going to do a cool demo, but I guess it's not cooperating with me. It was cooperating at home. Let me see. Oh, okay, it's typing. Something's happening. I don't know what it is, but something's happening. It might just be the Wi-Fi here. It might just be it doesn't want to work today. It's normally more reliable than this. We'll give it a hot second. Okay, something happened. Yeah, so Drinks with Robin was added to my Google Calendar, just like that. And that's very simple. It's one of the most simple use cases of OpenClaw, but you'd imagine simple things. I'm on the fly and I'm like, hey, I have 3 Partyful events next week. Could you just open Partyful, look at all the events, put it on my Google Calendar, and it'll just do that for you. Or you can verbally do that like I do, super useful. But it just allows you to process information more quickly on the fly without having to sit in front of your laptop and do all that. Let's see if it does something else for me. This one's a little bit more crazy. But technically, I should be able to. I've done this before. I drink iced coffee, protein iced coffee every morning. It's like a powder thing. And sometimes I gotta restock it. I run out of it. So I'm gonna ask it and see if you can restock it. I'm gonna do it in text because maybe the audio takes a minute to get over. All right. While that happens, It might take a minute because it involves a bit of a couple steps. One of the things my chatbot also does for me is sends me morning digests, and I'll show you what that does. This is the one that they sent me this morning.
LA is giving us 77 and sunny, because of course it is. All right, let's talk about your day. You've got the Nowhere Run at Silver Lake Reservoir at 7:15. Go touch some grass, literally. Then tonight, the main event. You're hosting the OpenClaw meetup at 801 Mateo in DTLA, kicking off at 2 p.m. with Robin. Please tell me your demo is ready. Please. Summer at the Moroccan Lounge at 6:30. Solid way to end the night. Now, the stuff you've been avoiding. Tax documents, due March 2nd. That's in 2 days, JM. 2. W-2 from Coinbase, 1099s for Acton, Case, Shareworks. Upload them to Tax Caddy before the IRS comes knocking. All right, go crush it. Big day energy.
Anyway, so that's an example. I don't know if you heard it, but basically it gives me a recap of like what I should be doing today, what's on my calendar, as if I literally have like a personal assistant at home, like an EA who walks me and be like, hey, this is your date. So I don't have to like carry that in my head, you know. So I get that every morning at 7 a.m. And then let's see. Whoa, okay, so something happened. Checkout loaded, placing order, and my protein iced tea, apparently order was placed. So if I go to Amazon, my orders. Yeah, arriving tomorrow at 10 a.m. My coffee has been ordered. A lot of times but those are just a couple of examples of like what this thing can do for you, and I'm really just scratching the surface, but like, it could really do a lot if you give it access to a lot of things. So that was some use cases that I want to show. Thank you for tuning into my thing. We're going to have some community members come up and demo their cool setup, a lot cooler than this stuff. And yeah, after that, we'll kind of close it up and let you guys mingle till the end of the event. So thanks so much. Thank you.